We begin our story today, where all good stories do, on a cruise ship, where Mr. and Mrs. Echo spent their honeymoon. We had a wonderful time, and as our boat docked for excursions, we heard a particularly odd rumor. We had heard that another passenger had gone to the River Styx on this voyage, and as sad as that news was, I had to ask a crew member if the rumor was true. He said he wasn't allowed to tell me, but just out of curiosity, I asked him if someone does pass away on a cruise ship, what do they do? Well, he informed me that cruise ships actually have a morgue for that exact reason, and I just can't look at cruise ships the same way again. Well, with that in mind, let's talk about a different kind of cruise ship disaster. We begin on the Carnival cruiser, known as Triumph. Now this one is a bit crappy if I do say so myself, because on February 7th, 2013, the 4,000 passenger vessel set sail to Cozumel, Mexico, with only about 4 of its 6 generators working, and allegedly the Carnival Cruise Line did know that this was a fire hazard. Then, on February 10th, Generator 6 caught fire, waking up all the passengers in the middle of the night due to the smoke alarms. As some of the passengers attempted to get life jackets and get onto the lifeboats, they were informed via the loudspeaker that they should just return to their cabin because the situation was not dire. After almost an hour, they were informed that the fire had been put out and that all they had to do now was wait for the room to cool down to try to restore power. But it was at this point that disaster struck, because the toilets were no longer working and the passengers were told that in order to relieve themselves, they would have to do it in small red bags and then leave those bags in a bucket outside of their room. And if they had to urinate, they were told to just do it in the shower. Now, for those of you who haven't been on a cruise, there are some rooms on the upper deck that have balconies and windows so you could air out your room. But for unfortunate people, there are also rooms on the lower deck that don't have balconies or windows. For these poor people, they decided that the smell was too unbearable and moved their mattresses onto the upper deck to escape the smell. This led to a whole other issue though, because now they were all baking in the hot Gulf sun. So they decided to build a bunch of makeshift coverings and dubbed it Tent City. Then, on the 11th, another Carnival cruise liner known as the Legend was able to pass by and drop some supplies for the debilitated Triumph, and to remind the passengers how much fun they should have been having. Only one person was allowed to board the Legend because she needed a dialysis treatment, but when she got on the lifeboat to transfer ships, the lifeboat was also damaged because of the currents, and the Coast Guard had to come rescue that woman as well. Finally, 2 tugboats get to the vessel and decide it would be better to tow the ship to Mobile, Alabama instead of their intended destination, Galveston, Texas. As a celebration of the towboats finally showing up, this goober of a captain announced that they would now have an open bar. And, of course, the passengers got a little too rowdy, and less than 2 hours later, he just stopped the open bar. Which, I mean, it was a nice gesture, but pretty poorly thought out. Then, on the 12th, the captain announces that they should arrive by 8 p.m. that day. And man, this guy stinks. Speaking of stink, do you remember the pee in the shower advice? Well, what do you think happens to all that mystery liquid as the ship now starts to rock back and forth because of the waves? For all you parents out there, you know how bad pee in a carpet smells and how hard it is to get out. Now imagine 4,000 people's pee soaking the carpet. I can just almost smell the deck, just ugh. It is now February 13th. What happened to being there at 8 p.m.? Well, the captain was wrong. Big surprise, right? But in good news, the Coast Guard had a helicopter on the way to deliver a generator. But in tragic news, the passengers had to tear down Tent City for it to land. Then, in great news, Carnival refunded the passengers and gave them... Wait, they gave them a free cruise? Who the f wants to go on a free cruise after sleeping in for 4 days? Sorry, got a little bit flustered. It was now the 14th. Surprise, we're still not there. The captain, still a chump. He does inform them now that the boat will arrive on the evening of the 15th. So, his first guess was only 3 days off initially. I guess at least he had it in the same week. Wait. Oh god, wait. It's the 15th. The ship's actually arriving. When the captain said, "Oh my god, it's a miracle!" The passengers are given a nice meal consisting of steak, lobster tail, but the whole ship smells like poop. So who wants to eat at a time like this? Anyways, they arrive on the coast, and it was reported that you could smell the ship as it docked, and in a cruel twist of fate, as all the people started going to the airport on buses, one of the transport buses also broke down. Just imagine being one of those poor people. You just cannot catch a break. All in all, the ship required $50 million in repairs. Now they just renamed the stupid thing, so if you ever see the Carnival sunrise, just say no, because you're sleeping on the decrepit remains of the poop ship. Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend who's afraid of, poop. This has been the world's largest graveyard, and remember, stay safe out there, friends.